G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. And today's video is going to be all about behind the scenes of the episode Relax from Bluey Season 3.
This episode of Bluey is called Relax.
Now, all this information is gotten from the Behind Bluey podcast, which is put out by Ludo Studios and Joe Brumm, the creator of Bluey. This is only available to listen to in Australia on the ABC website. So if you're in Australia, of course, you can go ahead and watch it. However, if you're overseas like myself, you might need to use a VPN to listen to it. And I definitely recommend listening to it. It's a really cool podcast. They do it for each episode so far for Bluey Season 3C only though. But if you do need to use a VPN, I'll leave a link for it in the description box down below, as well as the pinned comment down below as well. So let's get into about the 6 interesting things I kind of found in this podcast about this episode Relax. And the very first one is that yes, it is confirmed the location is the Sunshine Coast, or as we say in Queensland, the Sunny Coast. There is no specific location that they said, but they did say that yes, it was the Sunshine Coast, and they really wanted to show that again through showing the barge and the trees. Of course, the blue wheelie bin, I feel like is probably just an error, obviously, with the animation and the choice of bin colours because it's only New South Wales. The second information was about the story, which, of course, a lot of the stories are from Joe Brumm, the creator's own experience with his family, and this one is no different. He really wanted to do a story like this because he's gone up to the Sunny Coast a lot for his own holidays, and apparently he had this idea since season 1, and he had it on a piece of paper just saying, "Kids discover unit," and he's been wanting to make this episode ever since. He really wanted to make sure that Chili was sort of the main character in this episode and really portray that the kids have such a positive experience when going to a new like hotel or unit, whereas the parents tend to have a more negative experience about, oh, what's missing? Oh, we got to do this. So I think that they absolutely nailed it with this episode Relax, really showing like the beauty that you have as a child and looking through a child's eyes at something new versus as a parent who might be overstressed and overstimulated. Now, the third interesting thing is that it is sort of linked to Stickbird, but not really. Which I know for a lot of us is kind of confusing because we can sort of see how this episode would link to Stickbird. That's the next episode on the beach and then into Show and Tell. But according to Joe Brumm, officially it doesn't link, but in their minds it does, which honestly is just really confusing. But they said to yes, imagine that it is almost like the episode Stickbird, which is coming up soon, is on this same vacation holiday as where they are now. So I guess yes, it's linked, but no, not really. Super confusing, hey.
Mom, beach!
Beach!
The fourth really interesting thing though, of course, is the fancy lady walk, and apparently this was choreographed in real life by the animator Eric Lin, and then he of course then had to animate it in. I find it really interesting that they actually do a lot of the choreographing scenes, including Chili's like dance moves. They're done by real people in real life, and then they are then animated based off those exact dance moves. So I thought that was something really interesting that maybe you cheeky dogs would like to know. The fifth really cool thing they talked about, of course, was the music with Joff Bush. Again, they did bring in the idea of simple gifts. They wanted to use it, and we heard it especially in the end scene. However, I didn't pick up on this. Apparently, you can also hear it playing whenever the girls are having like a lot of fun and discovering something new. You can hear it playing in the background.
Ooh, Swingy Bar. Oh, look, a present. What?
So it's definitely worth a rewatch of the episode Relax, thinking about that song in your mind, and then seeing when it pops up for when the girls are playing. Cheeky dogs, if you've been enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up down below and leave a comment. It really means a lot to me into helping build my channel, and the YouTube gods also seem to like channels that have lots of likes in them as well. And the sixth thing I want to talk about is the decorations and the styling of the holiday unit. Now, Joe Brumm apparently was very adamant that he wanted this to be mid-tier. He didn't want it to look super fancy or anything like that. He wanted it specifically to look like a mid-tier hotel unit, which again kind of plays into the whole wealth class, I guess, of the healers, and that they are meant to be just middle class. They're not super wealthy, but they're not poor either. They both have jobs, but they're very middle class. So it was really interesting that like that's the vibe that they absolutely wanted. And anytime apparently the animators did maybe a little bit too much, Joe would be like, no, take it back. Like make it more outdated, more outstyled. And the animators did this by one, the paintings in the units. And I noticed this too, because I thought, oh, the paintings would have been such a cool way to like throw in some extra Easter eggs. But no, they wanted them to look cheap and old fashioned, like something you could just buy from like a dollar store kind of thing. And I think they definitely came off that way. They did a really good job with that. They also want to add in like stain marks on the wall, which you can sort of see downstairs in the garage, as well as the abandoned shopping trolley was put in there as like a way of showing that, yeah, it's sort of like a middle class again of people who would be using this. They probably brought the shopping trolley from a supermarket, just left there. Like there's no room service in this hotel or anything like that. So I thought that was a really interesting little details they put in. Overall, this episode of the podcast was really fun and interesting to listen to. Out of the 3 podcasts they've done so far for Cubby, Exercise, and Relax, I definitely think Cubby has been the most interesting because they really talked a lot about the influences for the story and the Easter eggs and everything behind it so far. Exercise was mostly just about the animation. They did 1 minute talking about the actual storyline, so I think that's very interesting. But for this episode, they split it mostly into about 20 minutes talking about the story and the animation, and then 10 minutes for the music. So again, like I said, this is only available to listen to in Australia, so if you would like to listen to it, you will need a VPN. And if you want to know how to use a VPN, I'll put it in right now. So all you need to do is type in how to watch Bluey season 3 and you will see my video pop up straight away with, of course, Brandy and Chili on it. And then I will show you how to get the link for NordVPN so you can see it either in the description box of any of my videos. I'll say nordvpn.com/monkey, or if you go to my pinned comment, then you can also see the Nord link there as well as this tutorial video. It'll then open you up to the Nord website where you can either get a deal for a discount on a yearly price, or you can also do the 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can try it out for 30 days, and if you don't like it, then you don't have to pay anything for it. You can also see here why I choose NordVPN to watch Bluey on, because compared to all the other services, it's just so much better, and it's so much more consistent as well. I never have any issues with watching anything on Netflix or Australia ABC iView 2. There's different pricing plans as well for 2 years, 1 year. I show you how to activate your account, how to download it as well, and then how to go from being in America to then switching your location to being in Australia as well. You have to go through a login process quickly, and then you'll see that it pops up showing your location is in Australia. Once you've done that, then we get on to the second part where you then have to go over to the Australia ABC iView website and then create your own login there. Once, of course, that your location is in Australia. Once you've created your login, then you create your own little profile, and then you can click on your profile to start watching some of the amazing Australian content that we have on ABC iView, which is our free streaming service in Australia. To get to Bluey, you go to ABC Kids, and then, of course, it's the #1 thing there. You click on it, and then you can either see the latest episodes, or you can look through all different episodes from season 1, 2, and 3 as well. This also includes teasing, which isn't on Disney+, so you can also use this VPN to watch that, as well as Dad Baby, another episode that is not on Disney+. Also, if you like Bluey as much as I do, don't forget to hit that like button down below, as well as that subscribe button and bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey content. Thanks so much for watching, cheeky dogs. I have picked you out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah, bye!